have no comment to make regarding the investigation, other than it's already been made public by our chief. Any further information regarding the investigation or the case itself will have to be made through our office in Los Angeles. And the gentleman to speak to is Inspector Peter Hagan, who handles the press releases for the department.
What does this warrant allege he's wanted for?
The warrant charges one count of 187 PC.
What is that?
We had heard that there was a possibility he might be charged in connection with the killing of the little girl last September.
Now that occurred, the little girl that was killed, that occurred in Grayson County. Now we had a murder here last September that we haven't completely removed from our mind. We'd like to talk to him about it. Of course, that again is up to his attorney.
What was the date of that?
September the 1st.
Would that conflict with when he was supposed to be in Los Angeles?
I don't know. I don't know when he left Los Angeles.
What was the nature of that?
M.O. is this killing, numerous knife wounds, and just a horrendous crime. The girl was just cut to pieces.
How old a girl was it?
How old was she, Tom?
25.
25.
Sheriff, you've known Charles all his life. What's your assessment of him?
I have known Charles the last 4 or 5 years. When I knew him, he was one of the nicest boys I ever met.
I didn't really know him. I'd met him, seen him on once or twice before.
Has there been any change in him since you had met him before?
I noticed a distinct change in his appearance. He's considerably lighter. He's lost approximately 30 pounds or more. He looks very much different than he did when I knew him or when I had met him on this previous occasion. He just looks like a different person. I wouldn't have recognized him.
Charles D. Watson was the kind of boy a community like Copeville could be proud of until yesterday. Yesterday it was learned that Watson, who once taught Sunday school in this church and who worked behind his father's country store counter across the street, had been arrested in McKinney. He was charged with the brutal, ritualistic slaying of Hollywood actress Sharon Tate and 4 other persons.
Charles was above average, very definitely so. He was what I would call an all-round student. He excelled in football and basketball and track. He was well liked by the student body, by the rest of the student body. He seemed to mix well. He was well adjusted, and he was very active in all kinds of extracurricular activities, you see.
Well, I really would like to compliment this group that have done such a remarkable job here in South Dallas Development Center. This is what it takes every day, devotion to the work that they're doing. And of course, some days there are, you feel that what you're doing is remarkable because some child will come along, and it takes a lot of patience and devotion to make it really work. But this is what it takes: a whole community working and caring for children who don't have everything.
How is your life now that you're no longer a part of officialdom? Has it changed much?
I'm busy, not campaigning, but traveling with a husband who is very busy. It hasn't let up, but we're enjoying it very much.
Well, he didn't really deny yesterday that he's not campaigning. Does it scare you to think about the prospects of a presidential campaign again?
Well, I put it off and put it into perspective. It's somewhere in the future, and we'll have to make decisions about that later on. I don't think about it every day, certainly.
All the charges and counter-charges and the threats by 2 or 3 cities to withdraw their candidates from the Miss Texas pageant apparently had little or no effect on Miss America, and that, according to B. Don Magnus of Miss Texas, is where it counts. The Miss America people say Fort Worth has the pageant at least for 2 more years.
I read you from a telegram to me from Albert Marks, who is chairman of the executive committee of the Miss America pageant, as follows. This will inform you that the Miss Texas pageant has been granted a 2-year franchise covering pageant years 1970 and 1971. The Miss America pageant takes this step with complete confidence in the existing organization.
Don, what does this do now to the girls who are going to enter the pageant next year? What effect is this likely to have on them?
I don't think it has any effect on the girls that will enter next year. We're planning to run the same pageant with the same people in the same manner we ran it this year. And the same manner we've run it since 1962, and this has been acceptable every year except the past year to all concerned.
Magnus said the effort by Dallas to take the pageant away from Fort Worth was nothing more than a publicity stunt for the Miss Dallas pageant, and he said as far as Lubbock is concerned, they can either put up or shut up, but he'd just as soon not go to court and bring down any more harassment on the Miss Texas pageant. Jerry Taft, Channel 8 News, Fort Worth.
I think there's going to be an economic effect here on so far as the economy of our state's concerned. Just to what extent, we don't know, because they haven't yet made the final decision on it. I believe that the Senate voted yesterday not to retain the 27.5%, but they voted also not to put the 20% in, so apparently it'll be between 20 and 27%. And until the final percentage is determined, it'll be a little bit hard to make a factual determination. But I would remind you of this, that there's more than 300 school districts in this state out of the possible 800 that depend primarily upon taxes on the oil revenue in their districts for their financial support.
This cut, if it comes into effect, could have serious effects on certain areas of the state, for instance, the oil-rich Texas Gulf Coast, where they already have high tax structure and serious educational problems. Is there any relief in that area from the state?
Well, as I mentioned a little while ago, if the financial assistance is taken away from this area, then we'll have no choice if the need is justified, but that revenue would have to come from taxes.
Mrs. Hartness, do you feel that this second trip accomplished anything?
Oh, yes, I do. I think anytime you sit and tell someone of the situation and they know about it firsthand, then I think you have to have accomplished something.
What are your expectations for the future?
To get word that my husband is alive.
What will be your next moves in that respect?
I don't think we have any definite plans right now. It's just good to be home.
Will this be the end of your efforts to gain new information?
No.
What's your next step?
Well, we have no definite plans, but we do not plan to give up hope until we have found the definite answers that we've been seeking.
Singleton, do you return from this trip any more or less confident that the communists will inform you about the condition of your husband?
Communist?
Well, the North Vietnamese, the Soviet Union, the other side.
I think that concerning the grave concern of the people around the world with whom we've met, that eventually this news will have to be forthcoming. However, we don't know when.